Have you ever wondered why there are some relationships that just seem to flow effortlessly, and there are other relationships that just make you feel emotionally drained? Like it's very tense. It's like when you come home and you have to sit for 10, 20, 30 minutes just to gain the energy for what you feel might be inevitable conflict or tension or anxiety inside the home. Or maybe you do that before you go into work. It doesn't matter if it's a romantic partner or a friend who judges your choices or a family member or a boss who always says you're not doing good enough. If you've ever felt this way, there is a framework that has completely changed my relationships, because I know I've definitely felt this way. And it comes from this book called The Power of PACT, Attracting Authentic Relationships. And this PACT framework was really the key that helped transform personally my relationships so I can attract more of the good parts of the relationships that we want. Because the problem is that if we don't find this clear framework for relationships, we risk continuing to experience the same cycles in these relationships. We're attracting the wrong people. We are staying way too long in the relationships that are draining you. And then we're missing out on those relationships that seem to flow, that energize you. And every day that we allow ourselves to be in these relationships without this framework, or if something's missing in that, we're really missing out on our full potential. You might have started to question, like, man, is the problem me? Am I too sensitive? Am I too demanding? Is there something fundamentally wrong with me in connecting with other people? And in this world where surface level connection is very easy. Well, how's the weather? How was your weekend? Right? That's very surface level. And it's the norm. But if you want authentic relationships, well, that now feels like a luxury these days. And authentic relationships, quite honestly, isn't a luxury. It's a necessity. So let's go into the 4 elements that are the success of any relationship, romantic, professional, or otherwise. All right. So number 1 is the P in PACT. First of all, this acronym spells the word PACT. And PACT is an agreement that binds you and someone else or a group of people together. And so the P in PACT stands for purpose. And the A stands for authenticity. The C stands for communication. And the T stands for trust. There's a lot of heartbreak in previous relationships that I could have avoided for me and the person that I was with if I understood them. And I'm going to give you a brief overview of each of these elements. So let's talk about first purpose. Purpose is where we align on what matters most, or at least we have a respect for our different purposes. If we don't have respect for purpose and for each other's purpose, that's when relationships start to really drift apart. The second one is authenticity, which is a popular buzzword that's thrown around. And this book does a really good job at explaining what authenticity means in relationships. And one of the things that is often mentioned is about people pleasing, and maybe you felt that way. People pleasing kills connection faster than any conflict ever could, because people pleasing is like wearing a mask to who you really are and what's really important to you. And it's hard to have real authentic connections if you are masking who you are by people pleasing. And the third one is communication. And when we master the art of communication, I don't think anybody's going to disagree that relationships are not elevated as a result. You master communication by being seen, heard, and validated, and helping other people feel the same way. When those dynamics are happening because you're a skillful communicator and using the techniques that are outlined in the book, it will prevent misunderstandings and prevent the erosion of trust, which again is that 4th element. And trust is built, yes, through communication, but it's also built through setting healthy boundaries. Those healthy boundaries will protect your authentic self and allow space for you to be emotionally safe, to be able to emotionally express your thoughts and your feelings and know that they will be heard and taken care of. What's really cool about this book is that there's a couple of stories in here, even right off the very, very first chapter. One is of Sam and Alex. This is on page 22. And Sam and Alex have a story that they were teachers who met at a charter school. This was many years ago. They had never met before, but they found that they had these 4 elements in their relationship, and their working relationship really thrived, where they were able to navigate tough times, conflict, and they really became very, very close. And there's another example of how this works with a person named Kara. She was the one that kind of accidentally stumbled across how easy relationships can be by having these 4 elements in the power of PACT. So that's what Kara demonstrated. That's what Sam and Alex demonstrated in the books. In this book, using this framework. Now, what I love about this is that instead of saying, am I the problem? All right. Or instead of saying all men are bad or all women are bad or my bosses have never been great or people in general, instead of saying people are bad, what we discovered is that people are not necessarily bad. They may not be a good fit for you always, but people are not always bad. We just have an absence of this clear framework. Because oddly, society has given us a lot of relationship advice. Like, Google it right now and you will see what to me feels like a lot of bullet points. And that list of bullet points is so long. It's hard to make sense of it, let alone remember it and how to apply it. And because of that, what we end up doing is we end up going off of the blueprint that we've been taught, past experiences or past traumas, cultural norms, or Hollywood fantasies. So if you grew up in a family where you were abused or neglected, or maybe it was a single parent family, that's what I grew up in. And I know that when you in that situation, one parent didn't necessarily talk well of the other parent, and that might have shaped your worldview about relationships or about the opposite gender or what have you. If this is the blueprint that we've been given, and the only other option is a long list of bullet points on how relationships should work, no wonder why it seems so difficult. And this book really makes it easy to understand how relationships are supposed to work and easy to implement certain things that will make your relationship a success. All right, so if you are interested in learning more, actually on their website, they have, obviously you can get the book, but there's actually a free assessment where you can take it and it goes over the 4-part framework and you can see what part of your relationship is missing 1 or 4 of these elements, or where is the relationship the weakest or the strongest, so you can leverage your strengths and also work on the weak parts. And if you elevate these areas in your relationship in this 4-part framework, elevate everything in your relationships. So I'm going to put this into the comments below, into the notes below, so you can see them if that is something that is of interest to you. Until next time.